no shortage of outrage over the Trump administration's immigration policy separating kids from parents who enter the U.S. illegally. Here in Colorado, Republicans, including Senator Cory Gardner and Congressman Mike Coffman, are critical of the policy. But we'll see if Republicans who control Congress intend to do something about it. Democratic Governor John Hickenlooper is going even farther in his criticism. But as politics guy Brandon Ritterman explains, it's not clear what the governor can do about it.
The governor had an event planned today about fighting child abuse, something he said was timely because of what's happening on the border.
Where children are being separated from their parents in a cruel, unnecessary, I would say un-American way.
Hickenlooper signed an executive order banning any part of the state government from helping to separate families on the border. But he also admitted that's not an actual thing that's happening.
Not to our knowledge. No one, I mean, we've looked into it and no one is aware of that.
The governor made it clear this is pushback, a rebuke, he said, of the White House. He said he may go further in a future executive order, but for now, he's making a statement against the way the Trump administration's enforcing immigration laws. What's that statement?
Are you accusing the Trump administration of abusing children?
Well, you look at the medical, I'm not a pediatrician, I can, Dr. Krugman, what would your opinion be?
I think it's unequivocal that the separation of children from their parents is abusive.
Now have scientific medical proof. I'm just kidding. Of course it's abusive, right? I mean, it is.
And that is a powerful statement from a state's top executive, but the actual power over the policy rests with the federal government, which hasn't shown signs of changing course. For Next, I'm Brandon Ritterman.
The governor said today he was unaware of any of the children in question coming here to be placed with foster parents in Colorado. When we talk about immigrants fleeing persecution, we are often talking not about people in the asylum process, but about refugees. Unlike people who seek asylum who has to stay once they're here, refugees apply to come here before they arrive. Once they're here, the challenges are largely the same, though. Finding work, building a new life. We got a closer look today at one initiative designed specifically to hire refugees. WeWork is a communal workspace for startups. This is an international company with 2 offices here in Denver. Last year, the company started a program aiming to hire 1,500 refugees. They're 10% of the way there, with 150 refugees working in the U.S. and in the UK, including 3 employees here in Colorado. Masika Kakuli fled the violence of the Democratic Republic of the Congo 9 months ago. She joined family here in Denver.
I'm old sister in my family, and I can help my family and save something for my school.
Masika is saving money to go to culinary school. We asked her if she had any particular specialty or interest. She told us Mexican food. No new answers today as the admitted shooter in the Westminster road rage attack appeared in court for the first time. The 23-year-old from Colorado Springs had blamed his mental health medication. A boy was killed in that incident. His brother and mother are critically injured. We expect the shooter to be formally charged this Thursday, a week after that shooting. There's a third boy, sibling there at the time of the shooting. He managed to get away. He was not physically hurt. The other man who was shot in that attack is expected to be okay. Check back in with Denver police today to see if there is any sign of this man, Mauricio Venzor Gonzalez. He was in the news for quite a while. He's the inmate who escaped from custody at Denver Health nearly 3 months ago. Denver police told us the community was in danger as long as he was out there. Still no update, no new information. Police said they're still looking for him. Anybody who knows where he is should call police or Crime Stoppers. A week from tonight, the city of Aurora will have a new mayor. The search for someone to fill the position began after Mayor Hogan passed away last month after a battle with cancer. The 4 final candidates were interviewed by City Council on Friday. Bob Laguerre, current council member, Debbie Hunter-Holan and Rennie Peterson, former council members, and Tim Hogan, the late mayor's son. A week from today, council will vote on who to appoint, swear in the new mayor at the end of the city council meeting. Our next question was raised by a few of you, Barb, Shauna, and Terry, who wrote, "We're getting unsolicited texts and calls from campaigns, some from random area codes at weird times of the day and night. What's going on with that? How come we're receiving them when we're on no-call lists?" Our Marshall Zillinger takes a look.
Yep, Yeah, why the heck are you getting political texts and calls? Easy answer, they're basically exempt from the Do Not Call registry. Colorado state law says calls and texts are exempt if they are made for the sole purpose of urging support for or opposition to a political candidate or ballot issue. The FCC does not allow text spam from an auto dialer unless you've previously given permission. The text messages you're receiving from campaigns are from actual volunteers, not a machine. Like these. Volunteers named Joseph, Giselle, and Wanda sent the following text in support of Democratic Attorney General candidate Joe Salazar. The content is the same, but the phone numbers they came from are different. By the way, Wanda sent hers at 11:03 p.m., to which the response was, "Did you seriously just send me a political text at 11:03 p.m.? Lucy, a volunteer for Democratic gubernatorial candidate Mike Johnston, sent this text, to which the recipient wrote back, "Do not text this number." "Got it. Sorry for bugging you," was the response. I assume the rest says, "I'll take you off our list." But just because you're off one list does not mean you'll stop getting texts from other campaigns. So how are they getting your phone number, and how do you make them stop? They're getting it because you may have provided your phone number when you registered to vote or filled out campaign information at some point in your life. You can go to govotecolorado.com and remove your phone number from your voter registration. That won't guarantee that campaigns can't get your number elsewhere, but it's a good start. You can also vote. Campaigns get new voter data daily, and the sooner you vote, the sooner the campaigns will know it's a waste of time to contact you. Voting is no guarantee that the campaign contacting you has updated their own information, and I've been told from multiple campaigns these are actual volunteers using their own cell phones because a mass reverse notification system would be considered illegal and probably expensive anyways. And Kyle, these volunteers are risking getting contacted back at all hours. I tried calling one of the numbers sent to us and it didn't connect to anyone. My suspicion, possibly a burner phone used only for calling voters.
So now you're planting a seed in people's head. Call next time you're up at 3 a.m. So about Mr. Polis's energy policy, I have a couple of questions. Two can play this game. All right, Marshall, thank you. There's a pro-oil and gas group that has reserved some prime real estate on Colorado Boulevard. Petition season is here. Think before you ink, the billboard says. This is on Colorado, just north of I-25. Got us wondering if that oil and gas group is concerned that you're going to sign the petition for a ballot initiative to restrict fracking. The group behind the billboard tells us this is not aimed at one petition, just wants voters to beware. Voters appear pretty beware to us. We watched a volunteer trying to collect signatures at the Trader Joe's at 8th in Colorado. Trader Joe's is where this happens, apparently. It's a tough job. Watched her get rejected again and again and again, about 5 times in a minute before she got somebody to stop and sign. Listen, despite all of our many attempts at explaining how Colorado's primaries work for unaffiliated voters this year, people are still throwing out their vote by voting in both primaries. One vote, one ballot. Let's go through it again. If you're an unaffiliated voter, you should have received a Republican and a Democratic primary ballot in the mail. Do not fill out both. Don't waste your time in your vote. Pick one. That's how it works. Secretary of State's office says some unaffiliated voters in Arapahoe and El Paso counties have returned both ballots. Reminder, pick one, destroy the other. If you have any questions, tweet them to us, use the hashtag HeyNext, or email next@9news.com. Right here last week, we met a kid from Inglewood competing in a national Braille challenge in Los Angeles over the weekend. Ty Gillespie's mom let us know he crushed it. Got 4th place in his age group, earned the top score in comprehension, 2nd in maps and graphs. He is already training for next year.
Westminster is water main break city lately. We look at why the city's system problems haven't trickled into homes. More free water for our lawns and gardens this week with warmer weather on the way. And what a donkey has to do to get its obituary in the local newspaper.
He's been with me most of his life.
That's next.
What's up with the water in Westminster lately? I mean, they've had 14 water main breaks in the past 10 days. That's how many the city usually sees in 6 months. The city's investigating what caused a surge in pressure to blow out the lines, and they're focused on a couple of water storage tanks. Today, Westminster's Public Works Director explained for us why the city's pressure problems haven't been bursting pipes inside homes.
A lot of residential construction includes a pressure reducing valve within the home. Here, a lot of our homes are protected by those PRV devices, so they wouldn't see it anyway. They're able to regulate within their home.
This is water main break season. They typically happen about this time of year when temperatures rise and the demand for water increases. Rockies weather, nasty or nice? Charlie Blackmon's beard calls for a cooler evening with the possibility of some rain. This is when the Rockies really need to turn it around. They're headed into a stretch with the cellar dwellers of the league. If they can't win now, it might be curtains. Mets tonight at Coors Field. Game starts at 6:40.
I still believe, I do. It's raining in Boulder. How wonderful to see periods of rain over the last 3 days after 2 weeks with hot highs in the mid-90s and more rain coming up from the southwest into an area that may be dealing with some flash flooding. Flash flood watch out east of Denver. After a day, well, it took all day to get into the 80s. That last ingredient we needed to get these storms building. Severe storms rolling from Boulder out to Longmont and Greeley and up around the Fort Collins area. No reports of hail yet, but certainly the potential is there. Brief heavy rainfall, which could turn quite heavy in the flash flood watch area. That's out across east central Colorado, western Nebraska, and Kansas. All the ingredients in play again tomorrow for a similar scenario. So we have the chance for rain and storms tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday, and then a big shift in the pattern by the time we see the summer solstice on Thursday. The start of summer, a warmer, drier weather pattern returns. Tonight, rain, heavy at times, thunder, then partly cloudy skies. Some areas of fog toward dawn. Temperatures in the mid-50s tonight, upper 70s tomorrow. Temperatures will be below average on Wednesday ahead of a nice warming trend for Thursday and Friday. Storms return to the forecast late in the weekend, and there's pretty good chance of rain again coming in Sunday night into Monday, Kyle.
Kathy, thanks. This program brings you the occasional obituary of somebody that few of us have met or even heard of, but whose passing we decide deserves a bit of note. I do think, though, that this is our first obituary for an animal. But the newspaper up in Breckenridge referred to Flapjack as somewhat of a local celebrity.
Flapjack the Burro was 2, according to the birth certificate, when neighbors gave him to Sam McClanagan 3 decades ago.
And that's how we came to be father-son.
Father and son, Sam and Flap.
I've known him longer than most people.
Most people in Summit County, it seems, had met Flap.
He was just so personable. They're very, very smart animals, and most burros do have very, very unique personalities. You get to know them, and you get to know what they don't like, what their fears are, what they like to do. They're very alert.
He liked cookies, Oreos if you had them, and liked being the star of the Christmas pageant, and liked meeting kids, especially if they had cookies.
Everybody got to know who Flapjack was.
And that is why his obituary ended up in the local newspaper, and now on the local TV news.
It's been like a member of the family.
32 years, a whole life of nonstop adventure and affection. May we all be so lucky as Flap.
People are passionate about saving local journalism, and that's why we're doing this.
The Colorado Sun is born out of the collapse of the Denver Post. We'll ask its founder why the Sun will succeed where others have failed. Hey, buddy, don't throw out that Lime scooter. The city's just reached a deal to keep them. And a 6-year-old makes his live TV debut and nails it. Next.
Ex-Denver Post employees are starting up a new online news operation called the Colorado Sun. It will attempt to succeed where other news startups have failed, trying to convince Coloradans that they should pay to support local journalism. The Sun has 2 years' worth of startup funding from Civil, which is looking to support local newsrooms across the country. It's backed by a blockchain technology company. The subscription dollars that they are looking for, those are just typical U.S. dollars, the green stuff. Something that editor Larry Rickman told me he knows won't be easy to come by. How will the Sun succeed where so many others have tried and failed?
We are 100% journalist owned. You know, we are the masters of our own destiny. And we're going to do great journalism. At the end of the day, it'll be up to Coloradans to decide whether or not this resonates with them, and we hope that it will.
So full disclosure, I gave to your Kickstarter.
Thank you.
I am rooting for you guys. I encourage other people to do the same if they're able. You guys have raised an impressive amount of money in what, 24, 48 hours?
I think we're approaching $50,000. Our stated goal for the next month was $75,000, and it's been a little bewildering, honestly, because we've been, all of us, journalists for such a long time that money usually goes the other way. It's been great, frankly, to see people in the community stepping up and asking us how they can help.
You've been frank about the fact that you're going to need monthly subscribers. How much are people going to be asked to pay a month, and what are they going to get in return?
Well, we're asking people to pay $5 a month initially for the subscription to the Colorado Sun. And they're going to be getting great journalism. They're going to be getting watchdog journalism. They're going to be getting investigative journalism. They're going to be getting just sweet, long-form narrative reads. They're going to be getting stories that help them understand Colorado and the issues and the people and the places that tie us together as a community.
I hear you saying that you're going to focus on investigative journalism, you're going to focus on narrative storytelling, on explanatory journalism. That's also where the Post is trying to focus with its diminishing resources. Are you guys competing with the Post?
You know, I suppose that's one way of looking at this, but I would say that we're going to be complementing the Post. I mean, as we both know, there are a lot of people doing great journalism in this town. You guys are doing great journalism. So is Denverite. So is the Colorado Independent and Westward and others. You know, but we think there's plenty of news to go around and plenty of great stories to be told. I think Coloradans were well served by the decades of fierce competition between the Denver Post and the Rocky Mountain News. Now, I'm not saying that we're the heir to the Rocky Mountain News by any means. We're not. But I think competition is a good thing. It will raise everybody's game.
Rickman says the Sun is not going to look to have a political slant, though you will see guest editorials there. We get into that in the full interview. You can watch it on the Next YouTube channel, youtube.com/next on 9 News. Those Lime scooters are about to disappear faster than your cheap friend when the dinner bill arrives. That disappearance due to a deal reached between the city and the scooter company. Denver Public Works says it's going to put together a pilot program to do this on the up and up, and Lime says it hopes to return to Denver soon, and legally this time. If Lime is missing a scooter or two, you should check the big blue dumpster in the Wash Park neighborhood, where another Denverite frustrated with scooters being abandoned on streets, sidewalks, and lawns was caught on camera just tossing it in the trash. We return with trashy signs that are confusing people, and your feedback next. It's a sign spotted by next viewer Barney Strobel at Mary's Lake in Estes Park, and I think this is garbage. The sign on the left clearly says no trash service, pack it out. But that is definitely a trash can on the right side, one of those bear-proof ones, and you know because it says trash on the top. Send us the signs that make you do a double take. Email next@9news.com or get our attention with the hashtag #HeyNext. If you were out enjoying the sunshine on Friday, you missed a special visit from a 6-year-old. Aiden invited me to his Transformers birthday party at the pool because he said that I'm nice to people. He must not count politicians. Anyway, I missed the birthday party, but we invited Aiden to come on the show, and when I wasn't looking right at the end, Aiden snuck in a little wink. On behalf of Aiden, you know me, we'll see you next time. Give the people a wave. A bunch of you watching thought that that was your favorite part of the entire show. Your feedback now. Ben writes in to say, this White House policy separating kids from the parents, I hear that it's the Democrats' fault, then I hear it's Trump's fault. I really don't know the truth. What if we were to just set all that aside? Set aside whose fault it is, set aside how long it's been going on and what's changed recently, and maybe just look for a solution. Maybe? Okay, just a thought. Cindy says, hey Kyle, if you were to dress up for Denver Comic-Con, what would you dress up as? Definitely Ron Zappolo. Mustache? Awesome. See you next time.